Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday evening. It is time for another one of these, and we're on YouTube tonight because why the hell not, right? So we'll get into what we're doing here. Let me go ahead and open up my comment section, and we'll just take it from there. We got some miscellaneous stuff that we're gonna do tonight. I actually went ahead and I tried to do the camera. There's like a new feature with YouTube that you can try, and I tried it, and it wasn't very good. So we're not doing that. Okay. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. We're going to get into the project work here pretty soon. Let's start with the time critical stuff first. Okay, so I'm going to be working on a couple of these miniatures. These are just like those D&D minis that you guys that are floating around. They're really cheap, kind of like Reaper Bones, but not really. They're actually kind of a different quality altogether. And I want to put just a little bit of texture on them, basically just kind of fill out the rest of this around the base, turn the whole thing into like a texturized base. So we're going to do that really quick because this is the part that's going to take the longest amount of time to dry. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting and what you should be painting. Tonight we're going to be doing a lot of kind of different stuff, okay? And it's good to be back here on the YouTubes, our old stomping grounds, right? We always come back here. Got to be loyal to the people who followed us from YouTube and people who still follow us and watch us on YouTube, and also our folks over on Twitch. It's been an interesting year so far, just kind of bouncing back and forth. I feel like did a decent job kind of migrating over much of the live content to Twitch, and I think it's working out. But you guys can tell me actually tonight if you feel like things are working out over there on Twitch, or maybe if you want to see more stuff on YouTube, maybe you want to see less stuff on YouTube, right? Maybe you're happy with the just the segments that like Octavius gets, and the occasional edited video I put on YouTube. I'm gonna try to make it not so occasional. I want to do at least two regular videos a month, ideally 4. I did already film an Arena Rex video because a number of people have asked about that. When I say a number, I'm like talking like 2. Like 2 people have asked for that, but that's enough. I've said it many times on this channel. It only takes one person to ask me for something, and if it's something that's within my capability and within my time frame, I'll take care of it for you. All right. So you can see I'm just real simple, just kind of filled out the rest of the texture there on that Druid, and we're going to go ahead and do it on this Druid as well. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight we're working on stuff, okay? That's really the best way of describing this feed. This one is just going to be stuff, and I don't know, man. I got to get back in touch with the YouTube crowd and figure out, what's the kind of stuff they want to see. Hope you guys enjoyed the Rising Sun. The Rising Sun's showcase I did. I thought that was kind of fun. It's kind of interesting that we still haven't tried the game, because we'll try the game at some point. I just right now is kind of a busy season for me, in terms of getting commissions done and that kind of stuff. So we're going to work on commissions. I do have actually one thing that's kind of cool that I can tell you guys is tomorrow I should be picking up my copy of Star Wars Legion. Okay, so I will be painting Star Wars Legion. Now, for those of you who have endured many of my Star Wars rants on this feed before. Never fear, I'm not being a hypocrite. At least I don't think I am. When I say that, yes, I'm going to be painting Star Wars. Probably, I'm not interested in the game, though. Full disclosure, I really have. Hey, what's up, Congo? Welcome to the feed. I have almost no interest in Star Wars. And the reasons are many. And if you want to know more about that, just go back and watch, some feeds here where I describe why I'm not really a fan of the Star Wars franchise or anything like that. All right, so that's the time critical part. We're going to let these dry, and then we'll get back to painting those ladies in a bit. Right now, what I want to do is I want to finish off the process of of basing my Rumbleslam minis, okay? So let me show you guys that. And I do actually have to paint one. Well, I don't know. Maybe I won't paint it. You guys can tell me how you feel about this. But first, let me get all the Rumbleslam minis over here. And let's get them set up. I am, if you haven't heard me say it 100 times, I am deeply impressed with the quality of these miniatures. I think they're fantastic. I think everybody needs to get their hands on some of these and paint them. And if you don't like painting them, then send them to me and commission me to paint them, because I love painting these. The one minor issue I have with these is that the clear base. But let me explain what I'm talking about here. So we have this model, Karia. Okay, very cool miniature, very fun mini, and you can see I painted her blonde. Okay, because we didn't know. Last night I was asking what the references, all the superstars in Rumbleslam have a reference, and we couldn't come up with one. We didn't know what the reference was for Karya here. Hata! And so I painted her blonde because, hell, I like blondes. Okay, that's me. I like blondes. I like my wife has blonde hair. She dyed her hair a few times. I tell her I still like it blonde. But anyway, and so today I was asking in the Rumbleslam Facebook group, like, what is this a reference to? And they were telling me, well, the first answer that came back was, okay, this is Gina Carano from MMA fame, who is a brunette. She has actually kind of like almost black hair, dark hair. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, because you look at the card, and you're like, okay, it kind of looks like Gina Carano. If you're not sure who Gina Carano is, go back and watch Deadpool. She's she's kind of like the enforcer for the bad guy, the big muscular chick. And so like, okay, and she's an MMA fighter. That makes sense, right? But then somebody else chimed in and said, no. Karia is actually from Greek. I'm sorry. From ancient Greece, and it refers to a female general named Artemisia of Caria. And in the movie 300, that's the character played by Ava Green, brunette, once again. And things make sense too when you start to look at, okay, her big boot, that's her giant kick that she does in that movie. So that's who it is. It's Ava Green. And so my dilemma here is, well, I made her blonde. How bad is that? Should I make her brunette? That's kind of where I'm at. Should I make her brunette? And is there? I don't know. I just think she looks more interesting as a blonde. It just gives the miniature a little more. I don't know, a little more interest, because there's too much black on the miniature, if you ask me, if I did her hair dark. So I don't know. You guys tell me, though, if you think she should have dark hair and if I should stick with the reference or not. I think for now, though, I think we're going to stay blonde. We're going to stay blonde because I like blondes. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay. And in fact, let's go ahead and let's make it official, people. And let's go ahead and glue her to her base, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it with Rumbleslam. So one thing you'll notice here, well, is when I paint Rumbleslam, you know, the miniatures come, when they come, they have these, they come on these with some of the resin peg attached to the bottom, right? And what I do is, instead of attaching them to the clear base immediately, which is a mistake because you can't paint all of a sudden. So don't do that. Even you gamers that don't paint your shit, don't do that. If you have to put it on something, do what I do and put it on one of these. Put on these like Night Models, crappy garbage texture. I think these are awful. I hate these. I was looking for a use for them anyway, and what you do is you just flip them over and glue them into them to it like that, and you can do all of your painting and all of your sealing and get all that done. And once you get to where we're at now, which is the sealing step, you can go ahead and clip her off that, right? So I am going to clip her off this. Oh, and hope I didn't. You got to be careful when you clip stuff like that. So I'm going to clip her off that, and I'm going to carefully get these tags off the bottom, right? And with this type of resin, if you want something flat, you can file it, but I don't think that's really the best way to handle this type of resin. Frankly, I like to just shave it, because this resin kind of peels cleanly like that. So you can see, so you can just run the knife across it like that. And what's nice about it is you're not generating dust that's going to stick to the miniature. You're not generating resin dust that you're going to breathe in or anything like that. So while I'm here, actually, let me go ahead and share. I'm going to share this feed with some folks in the Idic Beer group, because why not? Let's see if anybody wants to tune in. Let's go. Idic Beer. So share it with the Idic Beer group. And let's put it on here. Oops. And say we're going live right now. All right. Oops. I totally ruined that. Hold on. Too many things going on. All right. So we're gonna put that. There we go. We'll get rid of that. And oops. You know what? Let's just delete that page. Let's just delete it. Man, I screwed that up. Let's try this again. Live now. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're just gonna do that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and we're gonna glue her to the clear base here, but what you have to do before that is you have to pull. You can see how it's kind of blue. You got to get the plastic off, okay? And this is the kind of tricky part. You're gonna kind of feel. There's usually plastic only on one side, and then sometimes like this one right here. This one has plastic on two sides, because you can see it's a lot more blue, and the base needs to look like this, okay? You need to have it. It needs to be very clear when you're doing that. So that one was peeled. This one here, I know it's only one side. So I'm gonna feel both sides and feel for the one that's a little rubbery. I'm feeling for the side that's a little softer than the other side. and I'm just going to kind of dig my nail into it a little bit and cause a little break there in the film. All right, and then I'm just going to peel that off. And there you go. You can see it's gone totally clear. And now I can glue her on. Now I know there's better glue than this for this, but I use Loctite gel because Loctite gel is awesome. All right, and I'm just kind of working out where she's gonna go. I actually haven't tried pinning through here. I'm a little worried that I'm gonna end up cracking the base and just ruining it, but this seems to be okay doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna put her down there and just kind of hold this steady for about 20 seconds. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. We're working on a lot of stuff. We're doing the Rumbleslam clear bases, and I always start with the more difficult, ones, like, like Karia here, who's attaching on one. Oh yeah, and I can feel that the glue has not grabbed, and so I want to keep my hand fairly steady here. And I'm glad the model's sealed, because I would be rubbing paint off right now something pretty awful if it wasn't. But there you go. Okay, so I'm going to carefully set her off to the side. It doesn't look like she's fully planted on there. That's kind of scary. Well, let's just see how we do. Okay. All right, the next one up is Python. Thong, 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 thong. Love Python. And I did the cool pink hair on her, so she's rather cool. And here's the scary part. See, if I snap this too hard, I could actually end up like twisting her leg. Woo, you see how her leg kind of moved a little bit there. So it's a little terrifying doing stuff like this with such skinny little legs. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and clip these tags off the bottom. Again, I'm trying to be fairly careful and fairly clean with these cuts. There we go. So I may have gotten a little bit of her shoe on that, but that looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. But I have to there's a little bit of excess here I need to get. But that's not the end of the world, because it gives me a little bit more area to glue the miniature on. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I know I have plastic on both sides, plastic film on both sides, so I'll go ahead and peel that off. All right. And a nice one. Okay. Whoa. There we go. All right. So you can see the bases go totally clear. That's what we're looking for. And see if I may want to clean up this a little bit, because the flatter this is, the more contact you get with the base, right? And you want that because you need as much area as possible for the glue to bond. That's perfect. Okay. Now, if you really want to try something weird, You can lick the base a little bit. Because the water from your saliva will help activate the super glue. Okay, so a little bit of saliva sometimes is kind of like a natural zip kick. Okay, so I got to hold her steady there for about 20 seconds or so. Very quiet evening, guys. Nobody else is working on anything tonight? Totally fine with me. I mean, I forgot how much space my YouTube screen has when I stream on YouTube. I feel like my OBS screen is really small. And so when I stream on Twitch, I like lose a lot of this real estate here. So there's Python. Love Python. Great miniature. All right. Moving on. We're doing all the ladies first. So here we go. We have Jester here. Whoa. And look at the crazed look on her face. It's fantastic. She looks just not sane. Which is awesome. All right, so let's get her off there. Okay. Assembling T-55 tanks. Very cool, sir. All right. That was a nice clean cut, but I'm still going to go ahead and make sure that's nice and flush. Okay. Let's see how how fragile that that tiptoe is. And then we're going to go ahead and peel. This is always okay. I think this is the side. You know, and if you're wrong, the worst that happens is you feel a little bit of a scrape where you shouldn't. But there you go. I guessed correctly. You're just feeling for the more rubbery side. That's all. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're going to glue Jester down here. I do think I could have done a little bit better job with Jester. I think she looks okay. I'm not 100% happy with the skin tone. Her face looks proper psychotic, but it probably could be better defined. But she looks okay. So we're going to let her dry there. All right, moving along. 2 to go. So we're going to go with our man Shorts here, who is just an awesome miniature. So I think this is the side. You know, the cool thing about Rumbleslam is with these clear bases, I'm very likely at this point to use clear bases for my Way of the Fighter miniatures for the same reason. You know, Way of the Fighter plays on a game board, and it doesn't make sense to use one of my standard basing schemes for that. The advantage to using a standard style basing is that the standalone miniatures look better in my opinion. But when it's on the game board, it may look a little weird compared to having a clear base. So I'm going to clip these bits off. And we just want to shave off these pieces. Right, because there's always a little bit of that flash, and you're just going to shave this flush. Okay. We need... I love this song. Okay. And again, I'm just going to trim the... I'm going to trim that excess off with the hobby knife instead of filing it. Yeah, be careful though, because if that happens, you slice your finger open. There we go. But luckily, the dudes are a little bit easier to glue because their feet are bigger, and so you have more of an area to form a bond. All right. So, starting tomorrow, well, tomorrow night is game night, but yeah, starting tomorrow, I will pick up my copy of Star Wars Legion, and we're going to start painting that because why not? I mean, while I'm not interested in the game, I am interested in painting Star Wars Legion. And, you know, it's an opportunity for me to have that experience and then turn around and just sell the game. I might actually try a game demo of it with a painted set. But there's very little that is going to change my mind about playing that game. Like it's an extreme long shot to get me to play the game. But that said, I mean, I should say it wouldn't be the first time something like that happened. You know, I backed Wrath of Kings Kickstarter several years ago with the idea of that, okay, I'm just going to get a bunch of miniatures and paint them and sell them. And so, sure enough, I got a bunch of miniatures for extremely cheap because Kickstarter. And I painted up 2 armies and started playing. And hey, lo and behold, we ended up really liking the game. And it's become one of our mainstay games. So, you know, weirder things have happened, but I really, really avoid the scale of games that Star Wars Legion is, the 40K scale of, you know, lots and lots of pieces on the board, 6x4 play area. You know, I try to avoid games like that. Woo! Make sure I don't cut myself. You should not cut towards yourself. And it's usually when your blade is a little bit dull. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. Okay, and let's get one last acrylic base. Yeah, so we get a little Goku action. All right, so we'll let that dry. 20 seconds. Hold Mr. Goku down. There we go. All right. And with that, the Rumbleslam stuff is glued. I'll bring them back on it a little bit later so we can have a look at them. You know, the final product, as it were. But now we're gonna go back and work on these druids again. Their basing isn't quite dry yet, but it's dry enough for me to work with. And I know this because this is from experience working with the same scenario with my Rising Sun stuff. So we're gonna get some primer down on these. Kind of need a little bit more, well, this stuff. Just trying to get it to stick on there. That looks pretty good. That. And we're gonna put her on here. A little poster tech. There we go. All right. And let's go ahead and get the airbrush ready. Now I'm gonna lose some of this clear spell effect there. It's okay. I'm not terribly interested in keeping that anyway. I just don't like clear effects on my miniatures. It's just not. I have the weird limited edition stuff that has that clear effect on it, and I hate it, if I'm being honest with you. I only like it for things like if the entire piece is crystal, then I like it. But usually I don't like the mix. It just, I see what they're trying to do and it's kind of cool, but it's okay. I'd rather just paint that effect in myself if I want it. So we're gonna, and I'm pretty sure I have enough primer to deal with this. That's one thing I'm gonna have to remember to pick up is primer. So quiet, people. I do appreciate you tuning in, though. Very quiet. I feel like we get a lot more discussion these days on Twitch. But it could be that, me bouncing back and forth is just drawing lurkers on both sides, Oh shoot! I should better make sure that I clean my cap. Still watching? Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow's my game day. I have one of the locals has asked me if I would teach him Arena Rex. So I'm going to bring Arena Rex tomorrow. Obviously, we're bringing Rumbleslam. I'm not familiar with Fallout. I mean, I know of Fallout, but I've never played any of the games, and I couldn't tell you anything about it other than, the little Fallout Boy guy and the shitty band called Fallout Boy. But it isn't wait, never mind. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Never mind. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know anything about Fallout. Let's just do that. Let's just go there. I don't know anything about Fallout. All right. So my base plan here is we're going to do a Zenithal Prime. I may or may not block out some colors. Probably will in the case of this model. The other one, probably not as much. Well, who knows? Let's just do what we do, right? All right. And so we're going to go with our black primer. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting and what you should be painting. Tonight, working on some D&D stuff, because why not? Why not, he says. I can actually leave some of this crystal like that if I want to try to use it. But I'm probably not going to be totally careful with it. Chessie, I sometimes wonder what type of video games you would play if you still played them. You know, I was thinking about that today because, you know, right now there's like the whole hot argument that video games cause violent behavior again. I was like, oh, that old chestnut. I was like, didn't we disprove that in the 80s? Actually, more of the 90s was when that argument was pretty strong. I remember basically in the 80s being told that playing D&D would mean you worship the devil and laughing that off. And then in the 90s, I was told that playing video games made you more violent, and I laughed that off. And then in the late 2000s, we were told that playing video games makes you sexist. I'm like, damn, man, I get it. Somebody hates video games and doesn't want people to play video games. You know, my problem with video games is, if I'm being honest with you, is there was that what actually got me out of video games was the preponderance of first-person shooters. You know, me and Lucchesi used to play a first-person shooter called Delta Force, one of my all-time favorite games. So I am being a little hypocritical here, but the problem with first-person shooters is, and I think I mentioned this before, like it blew the category of video games wide open, right? Suddenly there was mass mainstream appeal behind playing things like Call of Duty and Half-Life and you know, Counter-Strike and, you know, PUBG these days and whatever else. That was my problem with it, is it's like the one type of video game just sort of flooded the market, and in my opinion, it kind of stifled some of the creativity that was happening with a lot of these other types of games, because it's just, you know, for a large game company, it made the most financial sense to just keep churning out FPS games, you know. Darn, I went in on game and decided to think of another faction site for Brotherhood of Steel. They're Raiders, Super Mutants Institute. Yeah. I still don't understand how FPS games can attract an audience to watch. I fall asleep whenever I try to watch any of them. The modern FPS games make me nauseous. I can't watch them and I can't play them. You know, the last one I tried playing was AVP, which was probably a huge mistake, because I tried to play the alien, and you know, the alien can climb 360 degrees and spin, climb walls and ceilings and all that, and that certainly didn't help my nausea. Yeah, I cannot play those types of games. So, currently thinking about getting into Fallout. Okay. It's just, you know, and it's kind of like how I feel about miniature games too, that a certain type of miniatures game or a genre gets, when one genre gets super popular, I feel like it stifles these companies' ability to branch out. You know, everyone's sort of playing a very similar sort of war game for a while, and now skirmish games are in, and skirmish games are great. I love skirmish games, but you know, I hope that we continue. I hope that the miniatures gaming world continues to, you know, innovate a little bit and make different types of games. I do think at one point there's going to be miniature games that are less based on a combat aspect, where, you know, it's almost cooperative or building. I think in the near future we're going to see miniature games that do more of that. I think it's going to be cool. All right. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, if I was playing today, I mean, you know, Lucchesi knows what I played. I played Delta Force, and then obviously I played MMOs. I played Ultima Online forever. I mean, I'm still thinking about going back and visiting Miri. Every now and then I get that bug, like, oh, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back for a month, you know, and visit Miri. And I have actually on occasion. I've come back, visited my old tower, you know, ran around with Miri for a little bit and just wandered around that world. So that's fun. And what's cool about UO is you can load it on virtually any machine. So no matter how shitty my laptop is, I know I can get something there. I'm not going to do primer actually. I want smooth coats. So I'm going to go with this light blue. And I'm actually going to thin it, which is, it's already super thin, but I'm going to thin it with a little bit of glaze medium, just to kind of reduce the whole powdery aspect. By the way, what's up, Albert? Welcome to the feed. Let's check our spray here. You know, I used to Zenithal Prime with 2 different kinds of primer, but I don't like that anymore because it's just too powdery. That's actually exactly what I want right there. Okay. So I asked the person who I'm painting these for to pick 2 seasons because they're druids, and they picked spring and winter. So it makes the most sense that this one here that's kind of growing these plants from the ground is going to be spring. So I'm going to go, you know, really deep green colors for spring. And probably, I'm thinking brown hair for spring. Like light brown hair. And the other one's going to be winter. I was thinking you might be attracted to a game with heavy anime influence. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. If a game, yeah, like I did actually back the Anima game. Anima, what's it called? Shoot. What's the name of that game? Anima Book of Anima? Anima Book of Mormon or something like that. I forget what it was called. But I backed the Kickstarter for that game. Book of Memories. That's right. And I played that for a little bit. And I lost interest. It was too boring. It's too standard video game, and it just didn't. It wasn't enough game, if I'm being honest with you. So this model is going to be winter, which should be cool. So going to do snow on the ground, but she's going to be like blue. Yeah, it was an Anima Tactics game, which is cool. Anima Tactics video game. And I still love the Anima world setting. Love the Anima world setting. I'm so disappointed that they discontinued the miniatures game. It's still one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I love the Anima miniatures game so much that I've written like 2 or 3 different house ruled campaigns and stuff that you could play for Anima Tactics. And now I'm writing another game that is inspired directly from wanting to just put those pieces on the board and enjoy them. Pretty good. I have so much of this right now. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? We're going to take Blackheart's Ghost here, because why not? Ooh, just stick them on there real quick. Ooh, stay on your thing, though. And I'm just going to Zenithal him. Like, he's slowly going to get work done. I think the bottom line with video games for me is I don't have time for more than one hobby, really. So that's probably, you know, if I ever did get back into video games, it would be Sayonara Miniatures, at least for that, during that period. And, you know, when I was playing Warhammer Online, that's what it was. I did very little painting during the Warhammer Online days. Did that big model you've been using leftover primer on the past few nights ever get fully primed yet? Oh, you're talking about the Umber Hulk. Yes, he did. He made it. He made it. He needs to be proper painted at some point. Here, we're just going to give him a little bit of light since I got so much of this. He will get proper painted soon. Umber Hulk. This Umber Hulk is pretty cool. I just wish he looked more like the classic D&D Umber Hulk with the stupid face. Love that Umber Hulk. Here we go. A little case study here on doing some lighting. And as long as you have a light color, you can do this. You can do this to any, you know, any base color. And you get a nice transition going up to it. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. We're just working on all kinds of stuff right now. Right now, we're just working on him for funsies because I had stuff left in my airbrush. That is literally the only reason why Mr. Umber Hulk is seeing any sort of paint. He is a really cool model, though. He's super fun. And see, the more you push towards like actual white, I think the cooler it looks. It looks more stylized the more you push towards white. Like it looks real, especially with the hard edges. It just really like draws your eye all over, like all over the detail of the model. Really cool miniature. I do like him. I do like you, Mr. Umber Hulk. I think I was gonna paint him like a Garthim from the Dark Crystal, but meh. Look at that. Dan Brown painting Malifaux gremlins in Tau Sniper electrons. Hey, what's up, Dan? Long time no see, man. Welcome to the feed. If any of you are wondering where the hell I went, go to Twitch. You will find me there more often than not. So for sure, Winter here will have blonde hair, like very pale blonde hair. And her outfit will be a lot of blues. Blues transition up to white. Oh, sorry, that's spring. This is winter. She will have a lot of blues transitioned up to white. So the more you push these highlights, the more they're going to stand up to being toned. There we go. Okay. So now, actually, let's we can go ahead and get started on her. I'm going to do a little bit of white up here on the BRID. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna do some blues on her, and we're gonna start with a bright blue and work our way towards a pale blue. So I could go either. I could either go magic blue or I could go Andrea blue. And Andrea blue is kind of cool because it would be fairly pale. So we might go Andrea blue. My airbrush would be clogged by now. What brush do you use? Do you use Flow Improver? Here's what I use. Actually, it actually is fairly common to have your airbrush clogged with the amount of airbrushing I do. I use this Masters G233 airbrush, the cheap Chinese airbrush. Costs you $26 on Amazon. I'm using a 0.2 needle. I do not use Flow Improver, but I do use Vallejo airbrush thinner, which is fantastic stuff. Just great for this. And frankly, I clean only with water. And I also use a lot of glaze medium. She's got your airbrush. Nice. Oh, that's right. You did get the 233, didn't you? Did you use my link? Did you use the link? Well, newer one. What kind of airbrush do you use, Mr. Blue? So I use that for most things, and then for the super fancy details, I got the Infinity CR Plus. Oh, my beautiful baby. Anyway. So I'm going to go very, very thin here. So a little bit of glaze medium, a little bit of airbrush thinner, some Andrea blue. This might be a little too pale. I think I actually want a little more color than that. So let's see. I could drop some ink in there. I'd probably do that. Let me drop a couple of drops of blue ink in there. Got Mr. Cheap. Sparmax. Oh, that's cool. Barback's a decent airbrush. So how long have you been airbrushing, Mr. Blue? If you don't mind me asking. Because I will tell you right now, I have made every mistake you could possibly make with airbrush. Okay, so real pale blue coming in. Ooh, this airbrush is clogging a little bit. So her outfit's gonna be mostly blue, and then this like little birdie thing is gonna be like a pale green. She's definitely gonna be a winter themed druid here. There we go. So this is a good base coat for her. And you can see because I mixed the glazed medium in there, it didn't really hurt the transitions that I did. Okay, so there's that. Maybe about a year. It's a little here and there. I typically go back to my brushes. I've been using a ton of prime recently. If I want to get better at actually painting with it. Oh yeah, for sure, man. If you've been using your airbrush for about a year for priming and maybe base coating, you're probably a lot better than you think you are with it. It took me about a year or so just priming, working on. I went from priming to base coating to, working on terrain. And you just do bits of terrain that are 100% airbrush, just to build your confidence, right? So I did stuff like that, and it looks fantastic. Actually, plan to use it today to get a starting point on some Malifaux. I mean, Malifaux is absolutely perfect for airbrushing. It's perfect for airbrushing, and let me explain why. I love painting Malifaux miniatures. I do. I wish I liked the game more, but I love painting the miniatures, right? And it's because the Malifaux transitions are so smooth. The minis are the details nice and crisp, but you've got lots of area to blend and fade and do all the kinds of stuff that airbrushing is really going to be good for. So that's great. Maybe the only hang up there might be, if it is gremlins, well, okay, then you have a size issue. You should actually try to work on larger miniatures first. That hurts my soul. Sorry, buddy. If you look at the really old content on this channel, I was a huge Malifaux fan, from first edition. You know, a lot of my really old stuff was from first edition. And you know, and then when M2E came around, I don't know, we had some issues here locally. And I would have to say, as a game, I think Malifaux is fine. It's okay. It's a high bandwidth game, and I don't really, in terms of, you know, keeping tabs on where all the factions are going and how the different masters play and all that. I don't really do that kind of stuff anymore, so that's part of it. And I don't know. I feel like into M2E, I feel like the fluff sort of lost some of its character, at least the stuff that I really liked. So, but that said, I love painting Malifaux. I will get back to painting some of it. I still really love the limited edition stuff. What faction do you play for Malifaux? Sounds like Gremlins for sure. All right, so we're going to do same thing with the other model, but we're going to do deep green. All right. So my green routine is a little bit easier. Arcanist and Resurrectionist. Yeah, Gremlins was Dan. That's right. Yeah. Oh gosh, I owned during 1.5. I owned every Arcanist miniature. Love Arcanist. Colette was my favorite master, followed by Ramos. I still have. Wait, I sold my Ramos crew. I still have a Colette crew. I want to paint another one, which is something I used to do in Malifaux all the time. Is I would paint back the metal Colette. I must have painted Colette and Cassandra like 5 or 6 times each, just because I love those miniatures and I love painting them. But yeah, I mean, I still play like once a year. I'll play. We're planning on streaming another game at some point. Me and Mark, because Mark still plays. And yeah, you know, I wouldn't say I hate the game. What I'm saying is I wish I liked it more. I wish I liked Malifaux more. It's right now. It takes up too much bandwidth. I like some of these smaller, faster games. So this is more traditional elf colors here, this green. And I'll just get more of the grass as well. Might as well. All right. Okay. So let's do some highlighting. Malifaux is definitely more for the crowd that has decided to focus on one mini game. Yeah, that's what I mean by high bandwidth. Malifaux's like that. Obviously, 40K, Infinity. Those games are like that, and that's why they have such a stable. They have a more stable community than a lot of the other games that I play. I like to bounce around quite a bit. Getting in the front. Yes, it is. Anytime you have to pull the nozzle out and work on the nozzle, it's a pain. Yeah, and you know, like I said, Colette was my favorite. Her playstyle change, I didn't care for too much. It was initially a huge turnoff for me. But these days it's okay. It's okay. I don't know if how she does in the competitive meta or anything like that, but she used to be, arguably broken before. I just played her weird. I like to do weird stuff with her back in 1.5. But really, one of the things that turned me off was I didn't like the fluff in the M2E rulebook, where I had loved the fluff all the way through from the original Malifaux book all the way up to the 10 Thunders book. I forget what it was called. But I was heavily involved in the community with Malifaux forever. Okay. So now I'm going to apply some deep shadow. If I can find my ink, I'm going to apply deep shadow here to this miniature. Okay. So this is going to involve a little bit of ink, a little bit of glaze. I'm just going to pick a couple spots, and then I just want to get this blue down, and then I can work on, painting the rest of it. All right. This nozzle is a little too big for the kind of work I want to do right now, but that's okay. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some deep shadow in this miniature. A lot of that's going to be here on the underside of the cloak. So you can see what that's doing. And then here, the top. And then you can see I'm going to draw it out. So you can see what I'm doing there, just getting a little shadow. That's just a nice transition. Okay. All right. So I guess the secondary color on this miniature should probably be like a gray. Yeah. I should probably do the tunic gray. It's just kind of a shame because I do like it blue like that, but let's do gray. We're doing winter. But yeah, I'd be lying if I sat here and said I don't miss painting Malifaux miniatures, because I do. There's some Malifaux. You know what I want to paint is I want to paint the Crossroads 7. I totally want to paint the Crossroads 7. And even like my little homebrew game is perfect for them. All right. So now we need, so I'm going to do like this cold gray for the tunic. All right. Okay, so now a little bit of a clog on this, homeboy. Just finished Envy a couple weeks ago. I was very happy with my results. Nice. You have it posted anywhere? Uh-oh. Got a little bit of a clog issue here. I'm going to take care of right now. Probably didn't thin that gray as well as I could have. It's on a Facebook group? Okay. No worries, dude. If you were so inclined, and you don't have to, you could send it over to my Facebook page, Play It Painted, and I could go have a look at it. All right, I think I got. Yeah, I for sure have a clog. For sure have a clog. There we go. I think I got it. Yep. So I'm going to do basically the undergarments will be this gray color. Okay. So a little gray on the ground there. Okay. So a little gray on her tunic. She's going to be green and sort of brown. So we're going to pick some kind of like honey brown, like a softer brown for her tunic and stuff. Maybe even more like a little more like a sienna brown. That way her hair, well, she'll be kind of more of a dirty blonde than a brown hair anyway. This mahogany brown is a great color. It's a little too red though. I'm never happy with the browns that I have. This isn't bad, this golden brown. Let's do that. Ooh, that is a bad sign. You ever just like squeeze on the bottle and you're like, I don't trust you. You're not a stand-up citizen of the paint. Oh gosh, yeah, you are not. You're I think that one's just going to go in the trash. That's just a very strange color. Yelling at me. Let's do this beastie brown. This should work. There we go. Yeah, that's a good color. All right. You know, I told myself I was going to do more brush work. I always end up getting lazy like this and just doing a bunch of airbrush work. That's bad, right? All right. Okay. I sent it. Don't have a photo booth or anything. I actually don't like the model, so I was glad I found a way to make it. Well, that's cool. All right. It's a little brown on the boots. Okay. There we go. Look, I could even do this if I wanted to. Introduce a little bit of color to this guy. Why not, Umber Hulk? Umber Hulk deserves love too, right? He deserves love. Umber Hulk is a good guy. He paid his dues. Look at that. Umber Hulk is getting his. We're going to accidentally end up painting the Umber Hulk too with all the other stuff tonight. Whoa, a little too much there. Umber Hulk. That's not love. He's just getting whatever's ever left in the pot. This is true. Gosh, I actually, this is a very common practice of mine. Is I'll have something that's like a low priority thing that just sits on my paint table, and then like it's like, oh, I have too much color left. I wonder if it will work with this model. You know, the real crime was when I used to do that to a Kingdom Death model. I had a Kingdom Death model on my table. And I was like, let's put it on this Kingdom Death model. I know that's a travesty, right? That's some war criminal stuff right there. Anyway, don't judge me, man. All right. Okay. Speaking of hair, we got to do her hair. Skill. Don't harm nothing. Actually, I'll give her brown boots. So she just has another secondary color. Ugh. All right. That was a lot of paint I made. That's like way more than I ever needed. All right. So let's do the blonde hair. I don't think I'm going to break out the infinity. I think we're just going to see how far we can get with the masters. All right. A little bit of yellow here. And this is Minotaur, so I can just go straight out of the bottle here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some pale green. I'm actually going to use a color called foul green, which is kind of cool. So you play any games other than Malifaux? Are you playing any other miniatures games? And let's see. So believe it or not, this is a much more pale green when it comes out. And we're going to use this as a generic highlight too. But it's mainly going to be for this spell effect here. You can see it's kind of like spearmint color. I really like this color when I'm doing stuff like apparition type stuff. It usually works really well for that. Right. You can do a little OSL here if you want. Just carry that out a little bit. I don't like to do too much OSL. There we go. All right. So we're going to do... Okay. And we're going to do a little highlight on the cloak. I don't really like this cloak. It's really flat. It's a little boring. That's okay. You know, what do you want for a $3 miniature? Right? Don't be so picky, man. Okay. Almost done with the airbrushing stuff. All right. That notice the Umber Hulk did not get that color. You'll see. I'll give the Umber Hulk some love. You'll see. Do I think he's going to be done tonight? Probably not. But still, he'll look cool. He'll look a lot cooler than he was the start of the evening. All right. So now I need to do like a generic highlight on all of this. And there's one of the things you can do is you can pick a color like this that's like actually super, super light. But you don't want it to be a cool light. You want a warmer light. Because the warmer lights are a little more versatile. Like this color here, this light gray green, it's got a little bit of yellow and then a little bit of green in it. And you can use it to highlight stuff. And it's not, you'll see, it's fairly all-purpose. Right? And all I'm going to use this for is like picking out very specific points of light. Right? A little booby highlight there. But I could also use it here. On this bird. Okay. So a little highlight there. A highlight on the hair. And give her hair like just a more pale look to it. Ooh, that's a little too. That's fine. We'll fix that. So you can see I'm just using it I'm highlighting everything with it. And then here. All right. I know it got a little quiet here. We asked a couple of questions, and I'll just ask a general question to the chat. Anyone here going to any conventions this gaming season? Like what? I know Adepticon is this weekend, as is WonderCon. So little opportunities there to have some fun. If you are in the Chicago or the Anaheim areas, at least. So you can see what I'm doing there. Whoops. With that transition there. And I'll show you how we soften all this up, because once you're done, it's cool to be able to do all this airbrushing, but then it, you know, things look too chalky, too powdery. And sometimes, a lot of times your transitions are just so high that you need to calm things back down. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to do one last color, really, and it's just going to be like a generic, like military green for the base. Actually, I got to do the soil too. So let's do the soil first. So we're going to use this pale brown. This is a nice color for Shorehammer. That's cool. Shorehammer? What is Shorehammer? Okay. And another. All right. See, he got some of that color. Good job, Umber Hulk. All right, so now I just need that pale airbrush green, which is right here. It's perfect. Oh, you got a Warhammer convention. That's cool. Whoop. All right. You can see that's going to be a really pale, like an olive green. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to the painting, people. We are done with the airbrushing for the evening. I could have done green shadow here, but I'm pretty happy with where that is. I want to just move through these miniatures. They're okay. They're not, I don't know. Okay, am I back? It looks like I'm back. We'll see. Oh, we're back? Did it happen? I think we're back. Maybe it overheated? I don't know. I guess it may have. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Should I just, I'm worried. Should I turn my music back on? Hold on. I gotta have my music, man. I'm gonna have a little cookie, even though I probably shouldn't. Even though I should. It's okay. It's okay, man. All right. Do, 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 do. So you can see that. That's what we're working on. These are really simple minis. Not a whole lot going on with them. You think it was Umbra Hulk? Could be. Ah. All right. That was a fun intermission. It, on the plus side, it did give me enough time to do my parchment paper for my wet palette. So, not the end of the world. You got your airbrushes bubbling. That's a bummer, dude. You probably have a bit of solid paint behind where the nozzle sits. When your airbrush is being a douche, it happens. All right, let's paint some eyeballs. Well, going that way. Should I? Boop, boop. Probably better, right? No. Yeah. Didn't even get to spray. Oh, it could be maybe the paint wasn't thin enough, and so you just got a skin back there. That's somewhat likely. Dude, this is old school, man. Just a lot of times I airbrush the skin on the minis too. I don't know why this one has like no nose. She's weird. She has some issues. She has like a pug nose or something. You just didn't get much detail on her face. All right. These are going to go fast. Oh, shoot. That reminds me. I got to glue. I got to do a Arena Rex repair before tomorrow. All right. painting in the eyeballs. I understand this must be pretty damn quiet on the YouTube side, right? Because I did not pipe my music through here. I've got it in my headphones right now. But that's a little bit, make me a little bit sad. Oops, messed that up. We'll fix that. We'll fix it. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's fix this. These just aren't the best facial sculpts. But again, what do you want for a $3 miniature? There we go. She's looking at her spell. She's a druid. That eye's too big. There we go. Gotta shrink that eyeball. Whoa. Okay. All right, let's do the base skin color. I just don't know if I believe in elf skin tone, if that makes sense. It's just too bright. It's too bright. Where's my heavy skin tone? All right. I mean, these are still better quality than Imperial Assault. What? Yes, they are. It's all true. Still more interesting than painting a Star War. Go see a Star War. And I'll be painting that. I'll be painting that starting Friday night. And I'll start with the stormtroopers. I need to fix that eye. Hold on. Let's get this skin down first. Alright. You just need a little bitty spot of white. This is Crazy Town. It actually does have the white where I want it, or the pupil of the eye. Okay. It wasn't too bad, actually. Now I just need to readjust the pupil. Because right now she looks a little reptilian. There we go. She's rad. She's rad. Blade Wolf, you still struggling, dude? You need some help, friend? Would you like me to try to help you troubleshoot? Because I can do that. I think you're using the same airbrush I am, so I can show you where to go. I'm judging people's noses. I am. Which I don't really have much place to judge because I got a little pug nose. My wife says she loves my nose, and I'm like, my nose is adorable if you're a female. It's not a good man's nose. Okay. Let's paint Pugnose in here. She's like Elf Voldemort. He shall not be named because he doesn't have a nose. Isn't that scary, you guys? Talking trash. I'm talking trash. I always talk trash. Always gotta talk trash. Why? Why? This is like an old Relic Knights mini. I'm gonna have to fill in a lot of the detail myself. Oops. It's fine. Sometimes they just jump right off the little miniature holder thing, and then you don't care. Alright. You gotta fix her eyes. They're really, really weird. I mean, her whole face is weird, but I can at least make her look somewhat cool. Just a really weird head all around. Just strange. She may actually look a little more normal with just white eyes. Nah. She would have no soul if I did that, so. I wonder what happened to Blade Wolf. I hope he didn't like get locked into mortal combat with his airbrush. Maybe he's wrestling with it and he tumbled off a cliff or something. Hopefully not. But I can imagine somebody fighting their airbrush that hard. All right, let's do the next layer of skin. Actually, let's do a little bit of lip stack. Lip stack. Again, it's more of a personal preference for me. I just like to do that, and I make it pretty mild. Mix it in with the base skin color, so it's not so red. Just so you get a little bit of color there. Okay, and then here, just not good detail on this particular sculpt. Oops. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next skin tone, which is gonna be probably like this cadmium. So I'm gonna mix some cadmium in with the heavy skin tone. It should look pretty good. There we go. That's a good skin tone. Ooh, that's pale. It's okay though. So we'll blend it together. We'll make it work. So this one here looks like a good sculpt. And she looks like a reasonably good sculpt. All right. All right. Yeah, she looks pretty cool. This one just looks weird. Got really quiet all of a sudden. Sorry, guys. Just painting weirdo elf face girl. Okay. So I need some yellow ochre because I'm going to paint little gold accents on this one. I'm not sure. I may redo her hair. It doesn't look too bad. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of detail on her. Okay. Just going to do kind of the details around this is sort of like barding that she has on. It's not really armor per se, but it does merit a little bit of attention. Right? There's a lot of it, a lot of this like sort of bordering that she has. So let's pick it out. I mean, druids are not allowed to wear metal armors. So but I don't know. It's been so long since I played D&D. I don't even know if that's still the case. Tis Spring, aka Weirdo Elf Face Girl. She just has a really weird, kind of goofy face. Like, hey, you. Hey, dear. You got girlfriend, Elf Forest? Hey, you. I don't know why everything boils down to that for me, but you got girlfriend, Elf Forest? And then we'll do a little bit of like gold detailing here. Whoa. Okay. Let's do a little bit of brown. I'll use that beastie brown again. This Beastie Brown's a cool color. So you'd use Beastie Brown to paint this little staff here. All right. And we'll do the little bow here, brown. With a little, whatever this is, a little tie on her hair. All right. Whoa. Oh, I also need that Beastie Brown to do her boots proper. Okay. They're moving along fairly well. If Link was a lady, the other one. Do you think this one? I don't know. I think the other one looks a little more like Link, although this one does have the blonde hair. All right. She does actually need quite a bit of white highlighting. So we're gonna do. Oops. So I'm gonna do a bunch of white highlighting on her. Pretty cool. Hey, what's up, DMPG? Welcome to the feed. Good morning, sir. Just doing a little YouTube streaming tonight as opposed to Twitch. You can see I'm working on some DnD stuff. So it's fun. Real simple paint jobs, but they paint up nice enough. Yeah. So you found the problem. What's going on, Blade Wolf? What is going on, sir? I don't think I need to do much here. Maybe just a little bit there. I'm gonna give motherfucking needle was bent. Oh no. Oh no, yeah, that's bad times. Like you can, a slight bend in the needle isn't, it's still usable, but it does screw up your accuracy. But yeah, if you have a needle so bent that it's actually causing spitting or bubbles or clogs, that's bad. Hate it when bent or dull. Yes, sir. Agree. All right. Dude, we are right there, man. These are basically gonna be what they're gonna be. Let's do all the ink stuff now. Give me them good needles. I like not having a face cam because I could do all my head bobbing shit and not feel weird while I'm painting stuff. Because I do that. Well, you guys know that by now. Which actually makes it a little bit harder to paint, but I don't give a shit. We're calling her Weird Head Druid Face of the Weird Face tribe. She has like a moon-shaped face. You get a Sotar, hot, good choice, good detail airbrush for a good price. I nearly bought myself a Sotar, but I said, you know what? If I'm gonna do the damn thing, I'm gonna do the damn thing and get the airbrush that I really, really love. And I do not regret that at all. It's one of the best, for me, it's one of the best purchases I think I've ever made in my hobby career, was buying that, because that thing is awesome. Whoa. once I am year 3, then yes, you're learning a 0.2. Yeah. Dude, the 0.2, once I move to 0.2, I don't really use 0.3 at all now. I have almost no use for a 0.3. Whoa. That didn't help. But I do think that's a good plan though, Blade Wolf, is, just get yourself very experienced and most of all comfortable. Get to a point where you're stupidly comfortable with an airbrush and you're like, man, I feel so confident I could like you could do so much more. When you get to that point, now's the time. That's the time you go out and get yourself the really, really nice airbrush. And you know how to maintain an airbrush, and you've been keeping one steady going for a while, and you're very familiar with cleaning and clearing airbrushes. That's when you do it, sir. You're good in cleaning? Good. If you're good in cleaning, that's a big step towards getting yourself the really nice airbrush. All right. Okay. Really only a few colors left to do on these bad boys. Let's get some, actually, I don't want to do greening, do I? Probably want to do this Beal Tan green. Probably look good. But damn, when they give me a needle, I have to bend back properly as default. Ooh. So it came like that? It came with a bent needle? Yikes, dude. I feel partially responsible for that. I have not had that problem with these, and I've ordered like a dozen of them. Pretty good. About as simple as it gets, man. Look at that. Pretty simple. She's a weird druid with the weird druid face. The weird druid with the weird druid face. All right. Yeah, she's looking pretty good. I'm going to dress up her base with a bit more greenery. That way, she just looks a little more spring-like, right? Because she is spring and the other one is supposed to be winter. See her face? Weird face. Weird face, Grill. Weird face. I can't do anything about that. She has a weird face. Weird face. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm weird face. Oh my god. Unless I get some old SP3 paint. I don't know, dude. Maybe. All right. This one's a little bit less weird face. I'm making a flying thing, you guys. It's flying, you guys. Oh boy. Have I been painting too long? Have I just gone delirious? Possibly. Okay. So now I'm gonna make a blue ink glaze. What game are they from? They're just those whatever those DnD, the like Fantasy Flight DnD minis. They're just generic DnD minis. I picked these up because my son, when he buys his minis, he's like, "Daddy, you have to get a mini." Daddy, oh hey, what's up, David O'Connell? Welcome to the feed. My son says, "Daddy, you gotta get a mini. You gotta get one." I'm like, "Son, you don't understand." Like he doesn't understand. Like Daddy's got minis. Okay, Daddy's good. But when he buys his minis, he's like, "Daddy, I want you." It's fun for him. It's fun for him that we're both getting minis at the same time. So instead of buying, some of the more expensive game pieces and stuff, I figured, I'll spend a couple of bucks and get um some Reaper or not. Yeah, sometimes I get Reaper bones and sometimes I get from this line, and it's fine. It's these look cool, whatnot, and I'll paint some for fun, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with them. I might give them to a local role playing group or something like that, or sell them. Hey, what's up, Jose? Jose, you joining us for gaming tomorrow, man? Or is you still in the slab leak stuff? How's life treating you, Jose, man? We need to know, our viewers here need to know about your life. They're actually more interested in your life than mine. So how are you doing, Jose? Tell us. Depends. No. Nobody wears those. What do you what does it depend on? That's too much. That's because repiping is almost done. Well, that's good. Fingers crossed, right? Just feather that out. And then if you have too much, right, I have a little too much ink there because you can see it's kind of killing this transition a bit. Your video keep cutting out? Seem to be okay on my end. Anybody else losing me? Been fine. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. Maybe it's just Jose's situation again. Don't die, Jose. Don't die, Jose. Just don't. I mean, slab problems are one thing. But, all right. Yeah, this grill. That's her. Let's do a little bit of blue. There we go. She's fun. She's a fun magic druid grill. A whammons. Whammons. Let's do a little bit of snow. And this is the part of the show where I'm gonna look for some gray pumice, but I don't, or white pumice, but I don't think I kept my white. I think I used all of my white pumice. Let's do. I'm just gonna do a little bit of like base dressing on these. We can do these. These are nice little flowers for spring there. The spring will get the nice yellow flowers. And, And I can make myself a little bit of, oh gosh, did that? Did I have a thing of sand open up? Don't throw it, sand. All right. Yeah, let's make a little, just a little bit of snow to put on her base. I'm gonna put a little bit of flowers right there. In fact, I'm just gonna do this. This is super lazy. I'm just gonna put a bunch of this white glue here, like it's snow. And you shall see what we're gonna do. I got plans, man. I got a plan. You'll see. You'll see. You'll all see. And then I'm gonna take one of these bad boys. Like that. And then gotta have a great night. You gotta go. All right. See you, Blade Wolf. You should come up tomorrow night, man. We're gonna play some Rumbleslams and some Arena Rex. Look at that. Who would have thought, right? If you just pour the glue on there and you sprinkle a little of this snow, you're thinking, wow, how did he do it? Okay. Wow, the ingenuity. Okay. We'll get that. We'll put that back. So there, little ad hoc wintry base. And there we go. But yeah, so I'll show you guys some other stuff here in a minute. Well, oh, I gotta glue the I gotta paint the rims of these bases black. So let's do that before I come on. Ugh. A little bit of black here. All right. But yeah, these are fun little. This is a fun little, like, just nonsense project. A little bit of it just because I'm starting to get too many of these other, like, miscellaneous All right. There we go. Okay. We'll let them dry for a minute. And let's look at a few other like minis and stuff I have sitting around. Well, first, before we even do that, well, yeah, real quick, guys. This model is not very well balanced. That's going to be a little annoying. Yeah, Congo, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining the feed. So yeah, you know, I just pick up Reaper minis now and then, and because my son, he wants daddy to buy stuff too. So I have a few things kind of sitting around that I'm gonna break out and paint from time to time. They're just gonna be like kind of side projects, that kind of thing. So I'll move her for a second. But yeah, so like I got a foo creature, which is probably just gonna be an objective marker for me. Super fun. Also have this really cool gravestone of protection. That's gonna be awesome. It could either be a goal or an objective for Guild Ball. That's fun. And then I also have this weird like, what is that? Greasy crap there, but I got like this like samurai warlord looking guy. Also really cool. And then my son, he's bought a few things for himself. So you guys can look forward to seeing these on paint streams soon. So right now I primed up a Weremadillo for him. You can see that Weremadillo. This is where we start. And I know I do give him, Guild Ball does not have ref models, unfortunately. But yeah, I give him a head start. I give him a prime and then like a tone like that. And then he just works with it. He'll paint, and I mix a bunch of glazes for him, and he'll just paint it however he likes. So he has that, and then this thing is freaking awesome. Like I offered to paint this for him, and he was like, "No, Daddy, I'll paint it." So check it out. He should have a lot of fun painting. I think he'll have the most fun painting this thing, and this may take him a while to paint because it's a big model. And then finally, he also picked up. Let's pop it open since it's all. I try to keep him at one-piece miniatures, even though that last one was a multi-piece. But he got this like ape gargoyle most recently. And I tell him, you know, we're going to stick with bones plastics for him. Can you house rule one so he can get in the way? Get hurt. Yeah, you probably could. Just some bystander guy. So this is all stuff he's going to paint on stream. And then before we call it, let me show you guys some where we started here with the basing the miniatures. Well, if it's house rule, I guess you can do what you want for sure. So here's Jester, aka Harley Quinn, on the acrylic base. Wow, she's coming off really glossy on screen. I may actually need to flatten her down a little bit. Just that crazed look on her face is awesome. So we got her. Caria. These models are just so damn cool, man. They're so damn cool. Okay. I'll do some proper photography on them. And you got Goku. All right. So there's Goku. And you got Trunks. It's like most ripped human being ever. Super fun. Wow, these guys look really shiny on camera. But they're not. I assure you, they're really not that shiny. They're just. I think it's just the abundance of light. They do have a little sheen to them because I hit them with a gloss and then I hit them with a matte coat after. Okay, and then finally Python. I absolutely love this color scheme. The pink hair and the pink boots and the reticulated Python. It's like one of my favorite. This is like one of my favorite miniatures now. Freaking love Python. Dude, Rumbleslam is just too damn good. It's just too damn good. The minis are too awesome. All right, guys. So with that, I guess we're gonna call the feed here. Oh, let me show you the two DnD minis too while they're drying. So here's Spring, essentially. What's a weird? She's got a stain on her shirt. It's pretty funny. It's weird. It's like she spilled coffee on herself. See that? Like down the middle there. I spilled coffee on myself. Not to mention the hair and the booty. Yeah. And then Winter. Oh. Winter's pretty rad. All right, guys. So with that, we're going to call the feed to a close. Want to thank everybody for watching. Have a good night, guys. And we'll catch you on the next one. Good night.